Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of One Mic Conversations with me, Skittzo, and my mother,
Kay Sands.
And we're going to talk about the regular stuff that we normally talk about. And, today it's going to be, again, Word of the Day, Dreams, Goosebumps episode, Night of the Living Dummy, Thursday Night Football. And we're going to make our picks today. And probably talk somewhat about the Giants, also some other stuff. All right, our first picks of the week, which was Thursday night. Well, first of all, how you doing today, Mom?
I'm good. How you doing?
Doing all right. It's not, you consider it sunny for some reason today.
I do.
But it's not, I don't find it sunny. I think it's just, brighter, but it's not as cold,
Not raining.
Not raining, not as cold. You don't need something warm. You don't need to hold something warm for your hands to keep warm. And, so even in the house too. So, all right. So, let's go. Let's start it with Thursday night football. Titans versus the Steelers. Neither of our picks were right. We both picked the Titans. How do you feel the fact that you started your weekend off 0-1, just like with me?
Not too good. I was hoping that it really wouldn't have been that way.
Because last week, from my records here, you did not do well.
Yeah.
Were you 5-6? 6-9. So, and already on Thursday, 0-1. All right, so we're going to get into the picks now. I'm also 0-1, but for some reason I've been doing bad the past few weeks anyway, except for that one week I did okay. All right, so we're going to start off with, all right, Dolphins at Kansas City. We already picked that before the game started. I picked Kansas City, and so did you.
Yes.
All right, so now that we got the 9:30 game in another country over with you picking Kansas City, and so did I, between the Falcons and Vikings, who do you got?
Vikings.
Okay. Any particular reasons, or are you just going with it?
I'm just going with it. I like the color purple.
All right, Bears, Saints.
Saints.
All right, I got the Vikings and Saints as well. Rams at Packers.
Rams.
Rams, yeah, me too. Commanders at Pats.
Pats.
Okay, I'm going with Commanders, and we'll see what happens. I mean, the Patriots, they're not doing so well this year. So, all right, Seahawks at Ravens.
Seahawks.
You got the Seahawks. I got the Ravens. Bucks at Texans. Oh yeah.
Bucks.
Bucks. All right. Wait. Oh. All right. You got the Bucks. You know what? I'm gonna go with the Texans. Cards at Browns. They just traded Joshua Dobbs, who was the starting quarterback so far this year. Kyle Murray was the starting quarterback, but I think he's been hurt or something's going on with him. Him and the team. So they traded for Joshua Dobbs. He's been starting, but now he got traded, I believe, to the Vikings, and the Vikings quarterback is now hurt. He's out for the season, so they have their backup in. I forgot to talk to you about that. So do you still want to stay with the Vikings, or do you want to go now with the Falcons?
No, I'm going to stay with the Vikings.
Okay.
And I'm going to pick... Oh, crap.
Cards or Browns?
I'll go with the Browns.
Okay. Colts and Panthers.
Panthers.
Panthers, okay. All right, Giants at Raiders. Giants, yep, so am I. Cowboys at Eagles.
Eagles.
Eagles. Yeah, I'd rather the Eagles win than the Cowboys. Bills at Bengals. Now, remember last year, this was the game between these two teams where that thing happened with the guy's heart when he was hit, had a cardiac arrest or something. So,
but I'm going with the Bengals.
Bengals, okay. So am I. Chargers at Jets versus Jets, whatever.
Chargers.
Yep. You know what? screw it. I'm going to go with the Chargers as well. I didn't really do any homework this week or for the past few weeks, really, including this one, because I've been, doing other stuff. But, we'll see what happens. Now, concerning the Giants, I read that Daniel Jones doesn't have an injury tag. Let me see if he's going to be starting. Let's see. All right, Daniel Jones. All right. Let's see, come on. Return against kicks. Okay, so Daniel Jones returned to spark quest to save season. I guess he is returning this week. So I'm guessing Tyrod Taylor. I'm guessing is still hurt. I believe he's still hurt. Tommy DeVito, I think it's a backup. Daniel Jones, I guess, is playing. I mean, if he can, if he's not too hurt. This past week, they traded Leonard Williams, so their big nose tackle. So we'll see what happens. I don't know how they're going to do. I mean, it's the Raiders. The Raiders, they fired their coach and their GM this week. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, I believe I did. Josh
McDaniels, he's an offensive coordinator. He'll go back with Bill Belichick. He's not a good coach. He sucks. And they fired the GM. You know who's taking over for the head coaching job? Oh, this chair is squeaky. A former Giants player who won one Super Bowl with the Giants, one or two. I definitely know he won one. He might have won a second one. Antonio Pierce, I believe, is taking over. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah, so bald head.
I remembered him.
Yeah. So he's taking over, and his first game is coaching against the Giants.
Oh, you're kidding.
So we'll see how that goes. That might be pretty cool to see and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see what comes up with that. It's I want Antonio Pierce to do good, but then again, I want the Giants to do good. So I don't want him to beat the Giants, but I would want him to win his first game. But I don't want him to beat the Giants because if the Giants can save their season and actually make a run, that'd be great. But if they have a top 5 pick in the first round and second round, then the Seahawks, they lose today, and they falter. They could end up having 2 top 10 picks in the second round because they traded a second round pick. So that for a second round pick for Leonard Williams. So that could end up being good for the Giants as well. So we'll
I hope the Giants play good.
Yeah.
I hope they win.
But it's kind of like if the Giants are going to get a good player in the draft and they can't make the playoffs for the Super Bowl, it's kind of like, well, lose.
Yeah.
Get the good player, So we'll see what happens. All right. See what happens with that. So, anything else you got to add about the Giants or any football, Mom?
There is one thing, and I believe I said this before, but I'd like to know why. The quarterback is in his pocket, and he's going to throw the ball.
All right, do you know what the pocket is? They're offensive linemen, right? They're like kind of, when the offensive line, when they go for a pass, they start backing up and going like this with their hands, like the block to keep the people away. And it kind of forms like a pocket like this.
Yeah, okay. So the quarterback is here, right? Yeah. And they have some of the other team around him. And he's going to throw the ball. But what I really don't understand is here's a guy he's going to throw it to, and here's another guy. Well, this guy is almost right in front of the other guy. You throw the ball.
Oh, you mean you throw it when he's covered?
Yeah, I mean, what? He just had to raise his hand, throw the freaking thing really high, or throw it over there.
To the other. Well, when you throw a football, when you throw a football, you kind of have to throw it. I think where it's anticipating where the person's gonna go. I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
If he didn't just like raise his hand, right, and sort of stop it or tilt it off. If he raised the other hand, he would have had that ball or with one hand. Oh,
so you're saying
bring it to myself.
So you're saying catching a ball in the NFL is easy?
I'm saying, watch out for the
It's so
other
easy.
guy.
It's so easy. You could even do it. Is that what you're trying to say, Mom?
Just jump up a little bit, tap it, and where's it going?
Well, who tap it? The receiver tap him to himself?
No, the guy, he was thrown, and it was such a short distance. It's up here, right?
Yeah.
Here's this guy from the other team, and here's the other guy who's supposed to catch the ball. It's not that big of a difference.
Distance.
He throws the ball, and whoops!
The defensive player just knocked it down.
Barely touched it.
Well, it changed the directory of the football.
Yeah, and the other guy is like, "Oh, what happened?"
So you're saying the quarterback has to throw it a little higher?
Yes, definitely. Do a Hail Mary.
Well, you don't do a Hail Mary at that point.
No, but it's up high and
higher than it happens a lot. They block the passes at the line. I know.
Yeah,
what you mean.
but
now I understand what you're talking about.
It could have been an interception.
Now I understand what you're doing.
Could have been a fumble.
No, well, it couldn't have been a fumble because somebody has to have the ball for it to be a fumble. But I understand what you mean.
If he touches it, it falls down. The other team grabs it.
No. Once you throw the ball, it's an incomplete pass. There's no fumble.
Oh.
Okay.
Unless the guy catches it.
Has to catch it. Or if the quarterback is holding the ball and he gets hit, the hand gets hit and it just falls out.
And that's another discussion. As I have said, the ball goes down, you go down.
Oh, you go down, you jump on. Like they try to always pick it up and run.
Right. If they're going to hold on to that ball, if they're going to knock it out of your hand, why don't you hold it? And go down with it.
It's a little hard to hold it if it's knocked out because you got to look for it. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Then
hold on to the ball, or actually go and get the ball, like jump on it and stuff.
That's right. Have a grip on that ball. Rule number 1 of the game. Down.
You jump out.
Down.
Yeah, you jump on.
You go down. The ball stays with you.
Yeah, and you make sure
Don't let it go.
Yeah, you make
even when they try to pry it out of your hands.
Yeah, I know what you mean. You hold on to that ball, you don't let it go, and if it goes down, you jump on it and hold it. So yeah, I know. Could be
game ball.
Yeah. Game. What do you mean game ball?
Well, could be the last play of the game.
You mean the game could be on the line?
Yes.
All right. So now that we had that discussion for whatever reason.
Well, because. All
right, so next what we're going to talk about is the word of the day, which is Zekgibber. Zekgibber? Hold on. Let me see how to say it. It's said Zeitgeber. All right, Zeitgeber, an environmental cue as the length of daylight or the degree of temperature that helps to regulate the cycles of an organism's biological clock. Zeitgeber. Again, Zeitgeber, an environmental cue as the length of a daylight or the degree of temperature that helps to regulate the cycles of an organism's biological clock. Zeitgeber.
I know that.
That's I wasn't expecting that type of word, that word to mean that.
No, not at all.
Now, when it comes to dreams, you picked another one.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I did.
And it's hymns. Hymns? Hymns. Hymns?
I think it's hymns.
Hymns?
I think hymns.
All right. To dream of hearing hymns sung denotes contentment in the home, and average prospects in business affairs. Okay. Hymns. To dream of hearing hymns sung denotes contentment in the home and average prospects in business affairs. in the home.
Sounds like a good thing to have that dream.
Yeah, I guess so, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're hearing something sing that's positive or something
and
that
peaceful.
Yeah, because it doesn't seem to be any negative things in there.
No.
So if that's what it is, then it's something positive, I guess, either way.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good.
I think so.
Wasn't expecting that.
No.
So, all right. Do you turn your clocks back?
Yes.
So,
yes.
It's automatic on phones and TVs and all that.
Except for some things.
Like stoves and microwaves and other stuff, or regular clocks that you have,
I think it makes the day go by a little longer. So
well, you go back an hour. For that one night, you get an extra hour of sleep for one night. So so what happens is the overnight shift works an hour more, and the day shift gets an extra hour of sleep.
Yeah.
But for the night shift, when it goes ahead, they work an hour less, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
So they got to wait every 6 months to work more or less?
Actually, I think it's 4 months because we turn the clocks. Yeah, because they changed it a little bit. I think it's the first Sunday in March we put them ahead.
March?
But the first on Saturday night, actually.
No. It's 6. No, it's like
back,
no. It's not 4 months. March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November.
All right. Well, I was thinking.
Well, it's for the winter.
I was thinking November, December, January,
because it's
February, March.
It's for winter and fall, isn't it?
Yeah. So I guess.
Well, November, December, January, February, March. Oh, you're going from November to March.
Yeah.
No, so I think I know what you were talking about, but so, well, they do this because of the kids that go to school.
Yes, that's what I had heard. And then I also heard it was because of the farmers.
Probably the farmers too. It could be a bunch of different reasons, but I mean, there's a bunch of different reasons why they do stuff like that.
Yeah. But I
you,
always feel that when we turn the clocks back, I have a little bit more time.
Well, it gets darker sooner.
Yeah, but lighter. The sun rises earlier in the morning.
Well, things get here fast. Well, when you turn it ahead, things get here faster. Yeah. When you turn it back, the day seems a little.
I know it does seem to go a little bit longer, but the nights seem like they come quicker.
Well, yeah, because it gets dark around 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't like
it goes from I'm not going out at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, and it's only 6 o'clock. Yeah, go outside and play. And then it's like later on, it's like it's 4 o'clock at night. You're not going out. You're not going out there gallivanting around.
I know.
But wait a minute. A couple weeks ago, you said it was okay to go outside at 6 o'clock. That was different.
Yeah, I know. It's something how when we turn the clocks back, things change a little bit.
Yeah. Trump is going to be on trial, I guess, tomorrow. I know Eric Trump and Don Trump Jr. was already there, and I think Ivanka was trying to get out of it. I'm not sure if she testified yet or not, but she was trying to get out of it, but I don't think she can. This judge don't want to deal with it, don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I think the thing about it is that he's already been found guilty of fraud, I think. This is just trying to figure out how much money he has to pay for doing what he did. So this has nothing to do with the other cases. So it's very interesting to see what's going to happen. I'm very curious, in general, because, I mean, it does have to do with election and, all sorts of stuff. So I'm very curious to see what's going to happen and stuff.
See what happens.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate that people do the things they do.
True.
Very unfortunate sometimes. So yeah. Next, we're going to be talking about episode, is it 6? I believe. Hold on. Episode 6 of the new Goosebumps thing. So, and that's Night of the Living Dummy, I believe, right? Yeah, Night of the Living Dummy. Has to do with Slappy. Remember the last time, before I told you about that in that case, he's probably looking for Slappy, that dummy. All right, so now there was no episode 30 years ago that they had. They did Night of the Living Dummy 2 and 3, but they never did part 1 for the TV series 30 years ago. Oh, but there is a book.
Oh, so, there is.
Yeah, but I believe that in the book, I thought there were twin sisters. I thought that one of them finds Slappy, the other one gets jealous and builds their own, or makes their own, builds their own, whatever, and then it has to do something like that. I don't know the rest of it. I can't remember. So, but this one is completely different. This one seems to have to do with the new one for the 2023 version. Night of the Living Dummy has to do with telling the story about how the dummy, Slappy, came into Bido's possession and what had happened. And it started, in 1925. Yeah. It was his grandfather, right?
Yes.
His grandfather finds Slappy.
Yes, he wanted to make his magician acts better.
Much better, yeah.
And so he went to, I believe,
probably a magic store.
A magic store.
Musician thing or something like that. And he asked the woman, is there anything else? Because he put money. And she said it wasn't anything you could afford.
Yeah.
But then he finds the box case, or no, he kind of speaks to him or something.
Yeah.
Like a whisper or something like that. He hears something, grabs a box, and ends up being a dummy. So he takes that and he gets home, and what else?
Well, his wife wasn't happy about the dummy.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And the dummy ended up making him kind of famous. And
but he read when he got the dummy, he read these words, and the dummy came to life.
Yes.
So the dummy kind of took Slappy. Yeah. The dummy Slappy took over basically.
Yes.
And they were on the road for years, and then his wife left him eventually.
Yeah, because she said, well, it's either, the dummy or us. And he said he chooses the dummy.
Well, the Slappy.
Slappy.
Yeah, so, but before all that, it's Justin Long, Mr. Bratt actually had them come in and is telling this story to them.
Yes.
So at the end of that last episode, he said, if you want to know, I'll tell you. And he's holding the book and he's telling the story about how
all this came about.
Yeah, how it all came about. So he's telling the story. Mr. Bratt is telling the story, and it goes back to the grandfather, or Beetle's grandfather, and how he came in possession of it. And he tells the story. They're talking about it, and then after a while, he finds out, he makes money. And there's a plan that Slappy has, I guess, and he gets delivered. What does he get delivered to him?
I don't quite remember.
I can't remember what it was, but it was some words or something. Wasn't it words that he had to say?
Oh yeah,
it was some words, and he had either a premonition or something. Biddle's grandfather, and said, no, I can't do that, and refused, and then threw Slappy in a trunk, and then held him there for years.
Yeah, he bought a house.
Yep, he bought the house that Biddle was living in.
Yeah.
Or where all the fire happened. His grandfather had purchased it because he wanted to be far away from civilization.
Yes.
And so he put Slappy in a wall, didn't he?
Yes,
First?
he did. Inside the trunk, in a wall, and sealed up the rest of the wall.
Yeah. And he said, nobody will find you. And Slappy said, someone will.
Yeah.
And so what happened was,
years later,
he dies. And then about 1990,
somewhere it's around
in the early 90s, the woman finds out that her grandfather, it's Biddle's great-grandfather, right? I'm guessing in 1920s
it was the grandfather.
It would be great-grandfather probably, because you're talking 19...
Yeah, the father's father or mother's father.
Or it was either grandfather or great-grandfather.
Right.
But the woman found out that he died and that he had left the house to her, and her husband move in with her son.
As they move in,
you start to see what he has, like all the things, like the worms. He brought in the worms in a thing, so he had the worms with when he moved in.
And the father gave him the camera.
Right? So, his father gave him the camera.
And then Biden found the mask as he was... Biddle.
Not Biden. Biden's the president.
I know.
Biddle
found the mask as he was looking at things.
Yeah, because when he entered the thing, he saw a case. He found that mask.
Yes.
The haunted mask thing. So that he brought the worms. His father gave him the camera as a present. What else? He found Slappy in the wall because Slappy did the same thing, called to him.
Yes.
Like he called to his grandfather or great-grandfather, whoever it was. Yeah. And so that's how he came in possession of... And the cuckoo clock was already there.
Yeah.
Because when Biddle was running or something, you heard the cuckoo clock. So the cuckoo clock was already there. The mask was already in the house. Slappy was in the house. He brought in the worms, and his father brought in the camera.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how all those things wound up. So we know where those things came from. And then...
Well, he made friends because he brought the camera with him, and he saw the photography table. He walked up to it, and that's how he met Sarah and Nora.
Yeah, and then he met everybody else.
Yes.
So, his father giving him the camera, because he said you'll meet people with the camera. Isn't that what he said? Or might help him. So he saw the photography table. He met Sarah and Nora. That's how he met them. And then he met everybody else. They became friends, pretty good friends, actually.
Yeah.
Until he found Slappy calling him. And then Slappy, he said the same words his grandfather did, right?
He did.
All right. And then he started to change. Slappy started changing him.
Yes, he did change him.
And then he was talking to Slappy, wasn't he? In a classroom, and Nora walked in.
And she saw him. She saw Slappy
actually talking, speaking. And it scared her, and she ran to tell them that, to tell Sarah that. And then at a show, right? Because Sarah said to him before, he did the show, but he said stuff privately about them that he knew. But it was Slappy saying it all. It wasn't him.
Yes, I know.
So he was on stage. He was told to get off stage by a teacher or a principal or something. And he talked to all of them, and they asked him how could he say it, and how could, because I guess she told him some stuff, but it wasn't, but Slappy's alive, so he heard it all.
Yeah.
So he said it, and then she said how you told me you were. She said how Biddle told her that he was scared and all this other stuff the other day, and now he's different. And then Nora said how she thinks the Slappy is changing who he is and stuff, and that's how the idea to go to the house that night happened.
Yeah, it did. They went to the house to try and get Slappy.
Yeah, and at first they didn't believe him, but Nora kept saying that Slappy talked.
Yeah.
And is alive and is changing him. It's evil. And then when one of the guys, the only guy, I think, right? He was the only guy.
Yeah, I think he was. And he heard and saw.
He went down in the basement to get Slappy, and he opened it, and Slappy started talking and going crazy, and he closed the thing and said, Nora's telling the truth. And then they grabbed Slappy to take him out, and then during the commotion and everything, Biddle sees all four of them, not realizing it's them, and goes into the basement, and the door closes.
Yeah.
And he falls, and the candle
lights the place on fire. And the others,
they run out.
They tried to knock on the door, and then they ran out because it started being ablaze.
Did Biddle get knocked out at first, or did he just fall and the fire was too fast?
I think he got knocked. I thought he got knocked out.
I can't remember if he got knocked out or not, but
they didn't realize at first that it was on fire.
They started seeing smoke.
Yeah.
And try to get them out, but it was getting too hot, and they had to get out of the house. And then they were going to go back in, but it already like kind of exploded a little bit.
Yes.
And they all saw that Slappy was alive, and they all tore him apart or something.
Yeah.
And said they were going to bury him or something. So, and so that's the story that Pratt was telling them.
Yes.
And then they asked him,
how do you know all this?
Yeah, because they felt that their parents weren't killers.
Right.
It was an accident.
Yes.
And they were going to try to get up, but they couldn't. But they don't feel, and Brett was saying that Mr. Pratt was saying how, no, they are killers. They're bad people or something like that. And then they asked him, like you said,
how do you know all this?
And then he turned into Biddle.
Yes, he did. And then they didn't know what to say.
And
they were surprised.
Yeah, and it ends right there.
Yes, it does.
So, what did you think of that episode?
Yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking, but it was finding out some things that kind of changed it a little bit from them not wanting to help him, that it seemed to things turned into an accident.
Yeah, so he actually had friends. They were mad about that, but it was Slappy. So he had friends. He was making friends and stuff, but Slappy was changing who he was and his mental state. So,
yeah,
and then, because doesn't Mr. Pratt say during that whole entire thing, they wanted to pick on him or hurt him or be mean to him, but in reality, that's not what they were doing.
No.
Because Biddle had a hard time at a different school, because in the episode his father was talking about it'll be different here and stuff like that, and you're finding out that Biddle dealt with bullying or something like that in another school, so his mentality already was
a little
his mentality about it was that it's probably going to happen again.
Yes.
So any little ounce of anything, he made it more than what
it was.
So that's what happens when you're mistreated somewhere else and you go to another place. It sticks with it.
Same thing.
It stays with you. So, anything surprise you in this one?
Yes. Didn't when Biddle found Slappy, didn't he end up killing his parents?
He did something, but they didn't show what it was.
Yeah.
Did he turn them into dolls or something?
Something like that.
They never showed what happened, because that's the same thing his grandfather or great-grandfather, whatever it was, did years ago, but they never showed what actually happened to the person.
But it
looked like he changed their cheeks or something like that, or
like
put them into
doll.
Yeah. So they'll probably, hopefully, explain what happened there.
Yeah.
So, because I'm very curious about that too. So, it wasn't a bad episode. This series is better because it's all intertwining and it's mystery too, compared to 30 years ago. It was more for kids, because a lot of the kids are like in junior high or first year, 2 year of high school. Yeah, and this seems to be like juniors, seniors.
Yeah, and this one's trying to explain how everything came about.
Well, this is specific to this.
Yeah.
All the books and everything, I think, were self-contained, except for if there were sequels. I think they were connected. But for this, it's all connected. The whole entire season is intertwined. Every episode,
which makes it kind of interesting, fun, scary.
Yeah, it's a continuation. It's a continuation. Yeah. It's like everything's a continuation from the last episode. So it's kind of like you're watching a long movie.
Yes.
So
a long mystery.
Yeah, it's been good and stuff. So, So you're enjoying it still?
Yeah, I am.
At first, you didn't seem like you wanted to watch it at all.
No, but I guess because there's a story behind it, and
well, there's a story behind it before, but you mean it's more better?
Yeah, because it's not just about, horrifying. Well, it is, but it's not showing horrifying things. It's more about explaining
and mystery and stuff like that. It's more
what's
connected.
going on.
And
Yeah.
It's not,
So,
just a.
yes.
I mean, a lot. Well, even if it's a horror movie, there'll be like questions and stuff, wanting to figure stuff out.
Right.
But it's working together. It seems so.
Yeah. It does.
So now you know where everything came from. He brought the Warrens with him.
Yeah.
He
the father gave him the camera.
He found the mask when he came in. The cuckoo clock was already there. Could you see it when he's walking around or running or something like that? You see that, and Slappy was in the basement behind some bricks.
Yep.
So yeah, it explains a lot. Now there's, I believe, let's see, the next episode is episode 7. So 7, 8, 9, I think 10. So there's 4 more episodes.
Oh, wow.
So you got now episode 7, okay, is called Give Yourself Goosebumps. I'm not sure if there is if there's a book or a show 30 years ago, like an episode 30 years ago. I'll have to look. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But what do you think about what do you think Give Yourself Some Goosebumps? Give Yourself Goosebumps is about?
Probably something scary, or one of those, like how things have happened along the way. Like when they put on the mask, what happened to them? Maybe something happens where their arms or body gets full of goosebumps, and it's...
I don't know about that. I mean, it's a thought. It's a thought.
Look
but I don't know
at
about
the things that have happened
I know
with
what
the
you mean,
things they put on.
Or maybe they just scare themselves really badly.
Could be.
Or they're goosebumps because when they get frightened, they get those, like, bumps all over their skin or something like that. Or so. Well, at the end of that episode, Biddle, they ask him how he knows, and he turns into Biddle.
Yes.
So maybe it's because Biddle is all scarred. I don't know, but we'll see. Or maybe they get terrified in the house for the whole episode, and he scares them because of. All right, so he's chasing them. Okay, so all right, so that's it for today. So that's it for this episode. So appreciate whoever listen, and this has been one of my conversations with me, Skittzo, and my mother,
Casey.
and we're out.